coffee with Keto Simple. Keto Simple. My name is Dustin. I'm so glad you're here. This stream will be starting soon, so grab your coffee, get comfortable, and settle in. We're building a strong and supportive community, so say hello in the chat, ask questions, and feel free to use super chats if there's anything that you want to see highlighted. Thank you for being here and being a part of this journey. Let's keep it positive and respectful as we connect and grow together. I can't wait to get started. Good morning, everybody. Everybody, I should say it. Yes, good morning. Happy Sunday. My name is Dustin. Thank you. Thank you for joining me this morning. So excited to be here. I'm excited that you are here. I'm super excited, as always, to do the Sunday thing, because Sunday, as you know, is the most important day of the week when it comes to me and you and all of you wonderful people. I'm getting over all this, you know what I mean? I'm getting over the sickness. I'm getting over all the things. Oh, I'm feeling much, much, much better. Sleeping better at night, which is one of those things that has struggled. I've been struggling for sleeping for a while at night, just because sleeping at night is one of those things that I have been struggling with, if you know what I mean. So can I move this just a little bit? There we go. All right, there we go. It's probably going to move back slowly but surely. Don't call me Shirley. But anyway, I want to jump into today's episode because I think it's an important one, because I think we get caught up in where we are. We get caught up in the minutia. We get caught up in everything that we know, all the things that we figured out, and we're trying to, for most of us, just trying to dial things in. But what about, and again, I want to make sure that we are focusing on this at least once or twice a month, the people who are new here, the people who are maybe watching from a distance, not quite sure what to make of what we do here. So when someone first decides to change how they eat, whether that's keto, low carb, carnivore, something along the proper human diet spectrum, it really feels, or I should say it rarely feels calm or confident, right? It feels uncertain. It feels risky. There's a lot of questions because there's so much that we've been taught about food that is suddenly being challenged, right? Everything that we thought we knew, everything that we've been told for decades and heard that fat is dangerous and cholesterol clogs our arteries and plants are the foundation of health. So when someone stumbles upon this community and they start hearing things like, you put butter on your steak and eating eggs and bacon every day for breakfast, and there's that little voice in the back of your head asking, am I doing this right? Am I doing something wrong? Is this going to hurt me? Because pop culture, everything we see in articles and magazines and TV tells us that this is the wrong way to go about doing things. So, of course, people are going to be skeptical. They're going to be untrusting because we haven't done anything to earn their trust. So once you get through that, then the second wave of worry hits. People ask, oh, well, where will I get my nutrients if eating a lot of, if I'm not eating all the plants? Because we've got to eat our vegetables. We've been told since we could walk that we have to eat our vegetables. We have to eat our vegetables, vegetable, blah, 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 blah. Broccoli is the epitome of a health food. I don't know where we got kale. Kale is a decoration, but I digress. But anyway, and then the question is, can I eat this way forever? A lot of times in the beginning, do I even want to eat this way forever? Is this something that I even want to do? Because we have to realize that people coming from a standard American diet, or what is considered a standard American diet now, for the last 50, 60, 70 years has been nothing but hyper palatable, highly processed garbage for all intents and purposes. Yeah, it's fortified with vitamins because they had to. You take away the nutrient dense foods and replace them with grains that have been processed into something completely different, and you have to put new nutrients and minerals in there because otherwise kids are going to get scurvy and they're going to get all kinds of things, right? So we have to wonder, can I eat this way forever? What happens to my cholesterol? Am I damaging my health long term? These are all valid questions, and I think in our community we are almost flippant these days about these questions. We get angry. We get angry when new people come into our community and ask these questions. We get angry because if I know this and I've been doing this for 10 years, 15 years, someone like Rick who's been doing it for 118 and a half years, if I think my math is right, how could someone not understand this already, right? How could someone not get this? How could they come here and go think, that we've got it wrong when we obviously have it right? But these questions are absolutely normal because we have done zero to gain their trust. We have done zero to reassure them that what we're doing is okay, not just for the short term for some quick weight loss, but long term for long term health. We have to build that trust. Each and every person that comes into this community seeking help, they're panicked, they're worried, they're so troubled, and because typically if we find people in this community, something's gone wrong. We don't get a lot of people coming to our community and coming into these live streams and these chats who feel okay. We don't get a lot of people who are, I wasn't feeling bad, but I just decided to stop taking seed oils and I started to stop eating carbohydrates and I'm just going to eat steak and eggs and bacon and for the majority of my life from now on, and I'm going to be friends with you guys now. It's not how this works. We don't get those people typically. Maybe in some of the Sean Baker stuff, or maybe in some of, whoever, the people who the higher priority, the higher level, the more celebrity people are going to garner those folks who aren't sick, who are just coming into it because they knew to change their life in a way, or they had some fancy person trainer tell them what they needed to do and they found that it worked for them before it was too late. But most of these channels, most of us in this community are going to be dealing with people who are here out of desperation. They are listening to their doctor. They've been doing what their doctor says. They've been doing all these things for decades and it's not working. They feel like failures. They feel like they can't do anything right and they're getting sicker and fatter and just things are falling apart and they don't know what to do. So they come here. And what do some of us do? Treat them like absolute garbage because they don't already know what we know. So when they ask, am I damaging my health? What happens to my cholesterol? Can I eat this way forever? We have to use kid gloves. We have to treat them like they're 5. And I don't mean in a patronizing type way. Think about how your grandmother would talk to you. I think about how my great-grandfather would talk to me in his workshop. The man could build anything out of anything and make it look wonderful, and he could just do it. And I looked at him like he was Superman, because he could just take a couple of pieces of wood and build anything you needed. I'm 46, almost 47 years old, and there's no way that I can't even make fire out of 2 sticks if I had a fire already going, okay? But I looked at, but he would sit there and he would talk to me knowing I knew nothing. But he didn't make me feel small. He made me feel included. And that's what we have to do here. Because these questions are normal. They're a result of decades of messaging and cultural habits about food. And they can create enough fear that people will never fully commit long enough to see their body, what their body is capable of doing. So what we want them to do is come here, feel comfortable, feel safe. All these modern words that some of us don't like to use. We don't want to hear safe space. We don't want to hear, but that's what a lot of people need because they are scared. They're miserable. They're vulnerable. And we have to not bash them over the head because they are eating some broccoli or they threw some onions in with their steak or they had some broccoli or they have a peach every once in a while or they just love some cherries when they hit season or whatever the case is. Because we are here for the long term. We're not here for what the cherries are going to do to you today. We're here to what steak is going to do to you over the next 10 years. And then we have to reconcile the scale, right? We have to understand that the scale becomes an emotional center of the entire journey. Again, most people come here because the scale is out of control. They're not 150 anymore. They're now 300, 350, 400. We see people 600, 700 pounds. And panic sets in. Because if they don't see movement on the scale every single week, or they only see 1 pound or a quarter pound or whatever, they don't feel that they've been successful and they panic and they start to question everything, the diet, themselves, the science, the process, this community. People will start to question this community. But the truth is that the scale is merely one single data point. And in the early stages of metabolic change, it's often the least useful measure of what's actually improving inside your body. And I see multiple people that I follow these days that are on these miraculous health journeys. They're going from 600 pounds. They're trying to get down to 200, 300 pounds in a year. And they're going through everything that they can think of, trying to shed that weight as fast as possible. They're eating sub 2,500 calories and they're 600 pounds. And you can't tell them, because it's their journey, that that's not enough calories for them. And they're thinking, well, I didn't lose weight this week. Oh my God, I just need the scale to go down. I'm not losing weight. I'm going to fast for 5 days and then that'll get the scale moving again. But that's where my panic sets in. That's where I get worried, because we have to understand that these people are doing it because they're posting all this on social media. They're weighing in every day. They're weighing in every week. They have made a commitment to a social media juggernaut to the point where they're seeing these celebrities join in and congratulate them. And they're being invited to see, hang out with these celebrities when they're in town. And, celebrities see this as a way to, maybe they're looking at a way to give back, but they look at that as free publicity for them. They have, the guy trying to lose weight who's gained, 100,000 followers in a day or 2 days or a week or whatever. And they feel that they can leapfrog off of that by also giving that person a feeling that, these celebrities see me. I feel seen. I feel heard. My journey is something that is making waves and hopefully making a difference. And it probably is making a difference in some people's lives. But also we have to worry about the oncoming train wreck that's most likely going to happen. They're probably going to hit a wall that's 20 feet thick, made of solid titanium and brick, and they're not going to be able to move it. And they're going to wonder what's going on. Why isn't this working for me anymore? And then they're going down to 1,100 calories and they're working out 3 times a day and they're doing everything in their power just because the scale isn't moving. That's where I don't want our people, our community, to focus on the scale. I know that we see creators like Joe and Rachel talk about get rid of your scale, and that's 100%. I think the scale can be valuable for certain people. And I think it's valuable to kind of see progress over time. If you're doing a check mark, you can see, are you in a downtrend? You may have lost a quarter pound this week, 1 pound last week. You didn't lose anything the next week or whatever, but are you on a downtrend? How are you then? But you have to then also ensure you're including a tape measure. You're measuring your waist. You're measuring your thighs, your arms, your neck. How are your clothes fitting? How is it to get out of bed? Are you struggling to wake up in the morning? Are you getting better sleep? How is your hunger signaling? How is your satiety? Are you feeling like a normal human for the first time? These are all very valuable, important questions that people who are just starting out need, because they are going to come into this not knowing what they don't know, knowing that all they know is they need to lose weight. All they know is they need to get that number on the scale down. That's all they know. And hopefully here in this community, we can be there for them, and with encouragement, with patience, understanding, empathy, and everything that we have in our toolbox to help them find the success that they so desperately need and want. Now, hopefully this sets the stage for today's conversation. Let's go ahead and jump into the comments. But before I do so, I do want to go ahead and say that I did record a video yesterday with Amy and Coach Juliet that will be airing sometime tonight. I believe it is 7 p.m. Eastern time, so an hour before Butter Bob's live. Butter Bob is going an hour late tonight, so I think that is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if I'm not mistaken. If somebody could check that and put that in the chat, that would be fantastic. I'd appreciate that very, very much. But let's go ahead and see who's here. We knew that Evelyn was here. We knew Evelyn was here. Good morning, Evelyn. How are you doing, my friend? She's such a dream. We love her so much. And hope you all remember the time change. Of course, cell phones. If we didn't remember the time change, Chandra would have been late to work. We didn't want that. Brian Dish is in the house. Good morning, Brian. How are you doing, my friend? Of course I remember. Do you remember? Yes, Evelyn and the power of deduction. I'm guessing so, since Chandra will have to be at work on time. Yes. There we go. There's Mr. Rick. How are we doing, my friend? Mr. Rick is in the house. How are you? We got to start off with... Let's get dangerous. There we go. We've done it. We are here. Glad to see you, Rick. Oh, yes. Andy is here. She says, anyone else been awake since 3 a.m., 4 a.m.? It's going to be a long day. No, I slept pretty good last night. It's been a struggle, but I slept pretty good last night. First sip of coffee this morning, ladies and gentlemen. How about you? Oh, coffee. Coffee is so delicious. Terry says, well, my brain says it's only 3:30 a.m. I'm guessing I will doze through this. I will try not to be so boring, my dear. But I understand. I understand that sometimes sleeping through the things like this is fine. I sleep through things all the time. Whoo! Sean Bradley's in the house. Good morning, Mr. Bradley. I hope you and your lovely wife, Shell, are doing fantastic this morning. Truly hope so. Tell her I said hello if she can't hear me. Same thing, Andy, with Susan when she wakes up, if she's not already awake, but she likes to sleep in because she's smart and I'm not smart, because here I am early and I could be sleeping still, but nope, here I am. Oh, let's see. Sherry Lynn is here. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, all at work. So just be listening. Not sure how I lucked out having to be at work so early after the time change. Yeah. We love it. My mustache is bothering me today. It's glorious, though. Look at that. I don't know. Is it as cool as like Magnum PI's mustache? Oh, yeah. I don't think I could ever be Magnum PI. I can never wear his short shorts, even in Hawaii. Andy is asking Evelyn if she's coming on Saturday to Columbus. Woo, woo, woo. Yes. Yes. I don't know. I don't know if Andy is going, but I don't know if Andy's going. I don't know if Evelyn is going. The only person I know for sure who's going to be there is Cindy and Brian, but it's their meetup. They did ask me if I was going to be there, and I said I would not be there. Unfortunately, I had to choose because I went to the Elkhart meetup. I had to choose between Columbus and going to Dixon, and I want to see the Cholesterol Code movie, have a chance to meet Dr. Dave Feldman, and of course, Dr. Barry's going to be there, the wonderful and amazing Amanda Decker's going to be there, and my good friends, our good friends, your good friends, Chris and Ash will be there as well, and it's been far too long since I've had a chance to see them in person. It's been over a year, ladies and gentlemen, over a year since I have seen them, and it makes me sad, but to no avail. I will see them very shortly. We will have the hugs. It will be beautiful. See a movie, hang out a little bit, say hello. Hello, everybody. Josephine is here, my dear. Josephine, all the way from the land down under. 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. I don't know if that's her address, but it could be. It very well could be. She could live on Wallaby Way, Sydney, because that is P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. And if you don't remember that, then I don't know what to tell you. And Sean says she's right here. She says hello, hello. Oh no, kids are home. Uh-oh. John Gugahan is in the house. Hello, Mr. Gugahan. How are you doing, my friend? Still getting ready. The whole changing of the clocks thing has really thrown me off this morning. I know. I went through and changed the clocks and set them right back to the same time. They were set at 5:30 this morning. I need to set them to 6:30, and I set them right back to 5:30. Then I had to set them again. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Evelyn says, good morning to Sherry. Evil love. Terry says, it'll take a few days to get into the groove. The groove. I need to find some music that I can play, like some groovy little, like, you know, some royalty-free music that I can dig in from Amazon or from YouTube and play, like, you know what I'm saying? I need it. I want it. Brian is in the house. Good morning, Mr. Brian Doyle. How are you doing, my friend? Thomas is in the house. Good morning, Thomas. Mr. Target Prime Rib is in the house. Woo! Good to see you, my friend. How are you? And Andy says that she's moving to the couch since Susan is still sleeping. Well, I hope that she understands that sleeping is really important, and we'll be here when she wakes up, most likely. All right. Anyway, Terry Girl says, morning all. Well, good morning. And Jeffafa says, good, I'm not late. I'm glad you were not late for this very, very important date. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? And my good friend, just another red shirt. A red shirt's in the house. Hello, my friend. How are you? So good to see you. Yes. There's Amy. Amy's here. Good morning, friends. Good morning, Miss Amy. How are you doing, beautiful? She had her birthday. I got to spend her birthday with her. We sang happy birthday in person. There was no cake, but there was brisket. Brisket. Oh, let's see. Let's see where everybody else is. Mary is here. Good morning, Mary M. I don't know if I've seen you around before. If I have, my apologies. If not, welcome. Hello, glad to see you. Hopefully you hang out for a while and tell us a little bit about yourself so we know what's going on with this motley crew we have here. Christian DeLorme is in the house. Hello, Mr. Christian DeLorme. How are you? How is your wife doing? Good to see you all the way from Canada. Outlaw Bill is in the house. Good to see you, Outlaw Bill. How are you? Saying hello to just another red shirt. Another Sharon is here. Steadfast Sharon is here. Good morning. Good morning to you. Yes, 118 years is how long Rick has been carnivore, in case you were curious. Since he was a wee little lad in 1736. That's what I'm saying. Oh, yes. Christian DeLorme says, thanks to daylight summertime last night, I made love for 1 hour and 2 minutes. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Stamina. I made 0. But that's the way the weekends go for us. Shannon gets home from work. She's exhausted. She goes right to sleep, especially when she's going to lose an hour before she even starts. Yeah. Boo. And Brian says, you're right. I found keto after my heart attack. A lot of people come to keto and to this way of eating because of desperation. And once we have figured out kind of what in a roundabout way works for us, we have to remember that people come here and have no idea what's going on. They don't know what they don't know. And we have to remember that we need to be good to them. We need to be open and accepting, because people are going to come here and they're not going to know anything. And that's okay. In 2016, I barely knew what a carbohydrate was. And then I was on a video yesterday talking about the details of cortisol. So watch that tomorrow night. I believe it's tomorrow night. Am I wrong, Amy? That's tomorrow or tomorrow. It is tomorrow. Tonight. Oh, anyway, that's where we are. It is 8 a.m. My alarm was going off. Oh, yes. Sean says, the biggest thing that we have to convince them is traditional medicine is wrong. We have to show them through example that it's possible to reverse all the diseases and take back our health. I think opening up, and I'm not trying to say that you're wrong, Mr. Bradley, but I think we have to work alongside medical professionals, because if we come out and go, they're wrong, they don't know what they're talking about, they're going to not trust us faster. That's like not trusting us with these racing stripes. We don't want them to trust us. We don't want them to distrust us faster. I would rather them trust us slowly. So we have to reassure them slowly. We have to just kind of, like that John Travolta song, you got to let her in. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But, we just have to be open to their questions, open to what their apprehensions are, because everybody's a little bit different. Everybody has a little bit of a mileage. Their mileage may vary, right? Yes, please, please, please hit the like button. I would appreciate that very, very much. And Brian Dish says, the changing of the clocks is just another way we have brainwashed, just like the way we should be eating. I don't know. It was a thing that Indiana didn't do for a long time. We didn't do it, I think, until 2006. Let me see. Let me look here. Let's see. 2006. We joined daylight savings time in 2006. So prior to that, all we did was our clock stayed the same, but we weren't sure if we were on Eastern time or Central time. So either we were with Eastern, or we were either we were with New York, Ohio, or we were with Chicago and Illinois and all that stuff, right? So if we were going to go to Cincinnati for a show, what time is it there? Is it an hour ahead or an hour behind? And the same thing when we were going to Chicago. So we were constantly trying to figure out where we were, what time was what, when it was where, and all the things. So we weren't late to the show. Josephine was May the 4th. I love it. Andy says, I made a recipe last night for dinner that we haven't had in over a year. Egg roll in a bowl, chicken, coleslaw, coconut aminos, seasoning. It was good. I eat keto. I don't care what anyone says. Well, all are welcome here. All are welcome here. And all should be welcome everywhere, right? Rick is doing great. Same here, Dustin. Yeah. Evelyn says, I found this coach premiere on April 5th. I don't know if she meant that to be April 5th or tonight. I thought it was for tonight, but we'll find out. I'm sure she'll let us know in the chat. Because Evelyn says, I don't see another video in your or Amy's lineup for today. She recorded it, so it's only going to be on hers. So it's going to be a premiere. So that premiere, I'd imagine, was probably meant to be for tonight, I thought. But because she can't be live tonight, so yeah. Helen is here. Good morning, Helen. I'm so glad to see you. She says, well done on 8,000 followers. I think I've got 247, I think. Now I'm not doing carnivore. No one supports my channel. Malarkey. Malarkey, malarkey, malarkey. Go over. Follow that. Support her. She's still doing what's best for her. Let's get her to 500 subscribers. Let's go. It has been an unprecedented thing that's happened to me in the last week or so. Almost 2 weeks now. The fact that I am now sitting at 8,132 subscribers, 1,440 in the last 28 days is clown shoes. The last 28 days, I've had 1.1 million views on my channel. That is ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. I don't understand it. I mean, I do, but like, I don't. I mean, you can't, those are big numbers. Those are hard. Those are hard numbers to understand. So hopefully, you know, you guys understand those numbers and understand what those numbers mean, because they're inconceivable, huge numbers. That means that my channel's probably hit 2 million views. Last week I hit 1 million, 1.5, and now I'm at 2 million views. That is crazy. Then I put out a short yesterday that I loved, and it's got 400 views. So it doesn't matter. We're here. We're all trying to make a small bit of difference, and it's going to take every single one of us. Amy says, Evelyn, that video we recorded is my channel for Easter, for my Easter Sunday. We recorded that for Easter. Okay, I was mistaken, so it's not tonight. I don't even know when Easter is. That's okay. All right. Sean says, it's been 1 year since the Heath and Shelley meetup. That was the last time we got to hang out in person. I really wish we could be in 2 places at once, KPO and 2KK cruise. I do too. I wish that we were able to do those things. And it's crazy that's been a whole year already. Crazy. It's been a whole year already. But I'm glad that we got a chance to spend that time together. And I imagine somewhere along the way, sometime we'll see each other again, my friend. And Sean says, trying to figure out if we can make one of the summer meetups. Yes. And Helen has switched over to calorie deficit now and following 1,471 calories a day. I just hope whenever someone says they're doing, caloric deficit, I hope that they're actually eating enough food. Let's see. Chili Butt 6544 is in the house. Can't sleep, stomach turning hard like NASCAR. It's giving me trumpet ass protein waffles, whey and egg are atrocious. Try my waffles. I have a waffle that is egg, mayonnaise, and beef gelatin. 3 simple, easy to acquire ingredients. You can get them at every grocery store. Well, I mean, depending on where your grocery store, your mileage with clean mayonnaise may vary. How strict you are if you're doing carnivore, those type of things. but I use the Chosen Foods mayonnaise, which is relatively clean. I want to say that let's see. Let's see. I'm having trouble typing here, ladies and gentlemen. So, Hellman's avocado oil mayo. I'm going to try and bring this up so we can look at this because it's a 30 ounce. It's $6 for 30 ounces. Now, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can bring this in. I'm going to see if I can bring this in because this is going to be on the Target website. I don't necessarily like promoting Target or any of the other ones, but this is one that's coming up. So let me go ahead here because I'm going to talk about mayo because we're talking about those waffles. But here, let's see. Let me share my screen here real quick. Bear with me here while I get things set up, and we'll look at this real quick like. There we are. Hellman's avocado oil. Now, if you're like me and you hear about this, you're thinking, sure, it's going to be avocado oil, then what are they going to cut it with? Let's take a deeper look. Because I want to know. I want to know. Okay, so this is not the same one. So this is not the one that I was thinking of. Because this one says soybean oil. So this one is exactly what I was thinking. Let me see here. Let's see if I can find this new one here. That seems more appropriate by the price. So let me see, is this going to, let me fix this here. Bear with me here, ladies and gentlemen. This one, I think, is what we're looking for. Let's go ahead and look here. Let me know if you can see this, if there's not enough. Let's see. Ingredients, canola and avocado oil. Okay, so this one's still not right. There was one that somebody shared and I saw online that was, but this is $11 for, this is 24 ounces for $12. So I don't understand how we're getting with canola oil, avocado oil, liquid egg whites, cornstarch, sugar, vinegar. There was a different one, and I swear there was a different one here. Okay, well, I guess I'll have to do some research, and I'll make a video about it when I find it. How does that sound? Let me know what you think about that. I'll do my best, and we'll see if we can figure that out. But Carl's in the house. Good morning, Carl. And Helen says, I'd love to know why when people decide they are not wanting to eat only meat, do people from this community just either unfollow or not support? I wish it wasn't this way. I wish it was better. I wish we were better. Because I really wish we put our money where our mouth is. We are a supportive community. At least here in this chat, I am going to be supportive regardless. Unfortunately, I think people will, in the carnivore community, I was watching a live stream the other night. I'm not going to mention which one I was watching, but somebody said something, and like the way the people on the panel said the word keto was almost like with such disdain that it was like something nasty in their mouth. Like keto was beneath them. And I don't understand that. I don't understand, like, you know, and the name, and you're trying to make people healthy. You're trying to do a thing for the betterment of society, but you're only focused on one small aspect. You can't make the difference that you claim you want to make by promoting carnivore only. Sure, they'll mention the proper human diet spectrum, but whenever they mention anything outside of carnivore, they sound disgusted. And I don't understand. I don't understand how we can get there. I don't understand how that makes sense. I don't understand. It's like so many things in life. We get tribal. We get locked into an identity. I'm carnivore and I'm better than you. And I see that so often. And it's sad, really, because that doesn't help anyone. Because if you are a carnivore and someone comes to you and says, hey, I'm doing this and I'm doing keto, and you think they're beneath you, are you going to help them? Are you going to give them the time of day? Are you just going to brush them off and say, well, I would help you, but you're not even considering carnivore, so I'm out? And that really bothers me, because that's not how we help millions of people. We don't help millions and millions, if not billions of people, by being so steadfast in our ideology that we can't see the forest for the trees. Because yes, proper human diet is a spectrum. And in my opinion, and I know not everybody is going to agree with where I start the spectrum. But in my opinion, and I think I've even heard Dr. Barry mention this before as well, proper human diet is whole food, single ingredients, even if it's not necessarily what others would consider low carb or keto. If you are a person who just grabs things out of your garden, you're growing potatoes and you're growing onions and radishes, and you're eating these things out of your garden, and you're eating, you know, and you're making stews and soups, and you're eating the, you know, beef from the farm over or whatever you're doing, or you're buying ground beef from Walmart. Who cares? You're getting what you can afford. You're doing the best you can do. Then good on you. You know, whether Helen is doing calorie restriction, full carnivore, keto, she's going paleo, who cares? Is Helen doing what Helen thinks she needs to do to make Helen better? Yes. Is Helen telling you that you need to do what Helen is doing to make you better? No. Then we need to support each other 100%. Keto, carnivore, any of it. I don't even care if you come in here and you're vegan. I don't care. Are you trying to do vegan to make yourself healthy? You're trying to give yourself a fighting chance? Awesome. I'm here. I'm going to support you. I may not necessarily agree with veganism, but hey, you're doing something you think you need to do to make you better. I'm all for it. And I think we have this discussion so often, so very often. And I imagine we're going to have it again. We're going to have it until we stop needing to have it. But anyway, you are the best. And I truly appreciate you, Helen. You've been a good friend to me. And I see no reason to not support you, regardless of what you decide to eat. And Mary says that she's been here before. Well, fantastic. Well, welcome back. I appreciate you so very much. I try to remember everybody. I really, 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 really do. Up until last week, I used to reply to every single comment I got. I'm not doing that now. I can't. I've had thousands, and that's a new problem I've never had before. And Cindy's here. Good morning, Cindy. So good to see your lovely face. There we go. There is Helen's channel. If you don't subscribe to her, please do so. Consider go look some videos. She's awesome. Just sounds like she's from London. I'm just kidding. Don't listen to me. Oh, I love that movie. But anyway. Let's see. Amy says keto, or Helen, can't talk. Keep in mind, YouTube takes a long time. I don't have 600 subs, and I've been working almost 2 years. When with Dustin where he is, he doesn't make a ton of. Yeah, I mean, like I've made 1.1 million views in the last month, and it's like $300. Am I complaining? No, because it's $300 I didn't have before. I love it. I've been doing this for 6 years, and I'm going to do it for 1 million more if I can, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, and Amy says we need to do this to help others. That's the prime directive, helping others. Not making yourself look cool because you're so carnivore. Who cares? Tonight is a Twin Brook Acres with Rick. Okay, fantastic. Helen with $5 sterling. Thank you so much, my dear. You're a good friend. And Dustin, no matter what, love you lots. Well, I love you too. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. I really, really do appreciate all of the wonderful things you guys say and you do, and you're here to support me. And I'm going to do the best I can to support each and every one of you as well, because there's no reason not to, especially because Reese is here. Reese is here. That's another reason to support everybody. When Reese is here, we support everybody. Good morning, Risa. So very glad to see you, my friend. Yeah, and Helen says, yeah, thanks, Amy. I know it takes a long time to grow. A friend of mine texted me the other day. He goes, are you enjoying your 6 years overnight success? It's like all of a sudden, after 6 years, things just start going, and it's like, yeah, it's not over. I mean, it might seem like it's overnight, but I put 6 years into this. The video that's going crazy had been out for over 400 days. So that's just something to keep in mind, you wonderful, wonderful people. Let me have a couple of more swallows of this coffee because I love it. And it's just sitting here, not being touched by me. Mm. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, and Amy's right. Each and every one of you who has a channel, who's thinking about having a channel, anything, if you start a channel, you have to do it because it's what you love to do. If you get caught up in the analytics, if you get caught up and you're going live, and I know that we've seen this with recent events with lives and people overlapping and all these things, it's going to happen. That's growth. It's unfortunate. It sucks. But we all have to deal with channels. And, you know, and I mean, there's things that happen with my channel that I put out that new video and I only got 400 views in like 12 to 13 hours. And I'm like, oh, but I knew that was going to happen because you can't release a video after having a video do 1 million views and it not perform the same. You're going to be sad. I knew that. I knew that going in. I knew that before I released the video. No matter how good the video is, if it didn't perform equal or better to the one before it, it doesn't matter. But we don't do it for that reason. Hopefully, we do it because we love making content. We love sharing information. And I enjoy making content and making things look the way that I have them in my brain. Yeah, Cindy's right. Chosen Foods mayo is the best avocado mayo. There is a mayo out there. I have seen people talking about it. Whether it's just not in stores yet, it's a whole other thing. But I'll keep on the lookout for it. I'll see if I can find it at my local Walmarts. I will take video. I'll make a video about it. We'll talk about it. Because I think if someone like Hellman's starts making an actual avocado mayo that doesn't have the seed oils in it, I would still like maybe to send a random jar off the shelf to have it analyzed to see if it is in fact cut with seed oils or not. I would like to know that, but I think it's like $300 to do that. And I don't have that kind of money. Maybe we get together and we do it as a collab, like 5 channels get together and do a collaborative channel video thing about it. And we'll see what happens. I don't know. Andy says, we buy chosen mayo or make our own. That was 100%. Either you make your own or you buy it. And if you can buy the cleanest, and Chosen Foods is like $10 for a jar. That's amazing. For a 32-ounce jar, $10, I'm all for it. You can't really you could barely make it yourself for that affordable. I don't even think if you buy the avocado oil from Costco that you can make it for that price. Amy says and confirms that tonight is live. Tonight, is live. It's some other time in the future where her, I, and Juliet are talking about the stuff and the things. Risa says, talking about mayonnaise, did anyone see Hellmann's came out with a Japanese mayo? It has MSG in it. First ingredient is canola oil, their version of Kewpie. Noticed it last night. No, I didn't see that, but I do see Kewpie mayo at Costco. I just haven't seen Hellmann's. Hellmann's is supposedly the one we were just talking about that had the good clean avocado oil, but we'll have to wait and find that in the stores or find it because I'm not showing it right now, even though I've seen advertisements for it. Yeah, and Helen says that, yeah, it is strange. Some people don't support others. Suppose that's just certain characteristics of it comes down. We see this in other organizations as well. We see it all over the place where you are in a group of people and then you may change and not see that same group of people and you go to a different group of people, and all the friends you made with one group of people you thought were your friends, but it was only really because you're in that group of people. And then when you decide to go start seeing another group of people, then they stop being your friends. It may not be overnight. It may not be quite right away, but it does happen. It's just human nature. It's so strange. Andy says, my freezer has pork, chicken, and steak in it. You'd have to search a while to find veggies if there are any to find at all. Fresh cauliflower, blueberries, broccoli. We buy frozen vegetables is what we buy. If I could talk correctly, that would be really helpful, but I cannot, and that's what you're stuck with. Now, we buy frozen vegetables because we don't always need them right away. And sometimes I just really want broccoli. Sometimes I just need really buttery, delicious broccoli with some garlic on it. Oh, delicious. Sometimes I just want some broccoli cheddar soup. I might actually make some of that this really soon before it gets hot again, because soup is not so good in the summertime. Summertime soup is not a thing. Risa says, Amy, I've been doing YouTube since January of 2018. I am just under 900 subs. I get a few and then I lose a few. Aggravating. Put Risa's channel in here. Let's get her some subscribers. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's get her to 1,000. We can do it. Sharon says, be clear. My handle has nothing to do with my spectrum of keto, but rather my faith. Oh, okay. And I understand not everybody's handle has anything to do with what they eat or whatever. There's a lot of people in here that like to showcase their faith or whatever. They like Mopar and Chargers, or they like to laugh a lot. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things, you know what I mean? Keto Simple is what I came up with in 2016. I was like, oh, that'd be cool. Just what it is, and it's stuck. That's where I'm at. There's Risa's channel. Everybody go and subscribe. Mary says, I did keto for 6 years before I did carnivore. Strict carnivore wasn't working like I expected, so now keto is working best for me. So it's been experimental for me, and that's exactly how it should be. You do keto and you want to see, well, what's this carnivore thing all about? You give carnivore a try. Does it work for you? Because there's a lot of things at play. There's a lot of moving parts in our body. There's a lot of hormones. And if we are eating only meat, sometimes our hormones don't like that. Sometimes if we're not eating only meat, our hormones don't like that. Sometimes if we're eating certain types of vegetables, our hormones don't like that. It's just a thing. We have to kind of trial and error. N equals 1. It's just one of those things. I don't understand how we got to where we are. We should be supporting everybody who needs help because everybody should be welcome here. I mean, it just makes sense. If everybody is welcome here, then everybody's going to come here, you would think. But people like to find like-minded people who think exactly like they do, and they may not get challenged in their thought process. I get that too. That's the joys of human nature. And Jeff says, yeah, the definition of carnivore has changed. Used to be 70% meat. I mean, you think about like animals in the wild. I'm sure that there are times where they do or don't only eat meat. I don't know. Like the same thing with herbivores. There's been footage of deer and horses eating animals. Everyone thought they were just herbivores. They only ate plants or whatever, right? I don't know. It's just, you know, we just want to make sure we're supporting our friends. Yeah, and Brian says, add GLP-1s to your protocol and see what people in the keto carnivore community say. My thing here is I don't shun anybody if they want to use GLP-1s. It's another tool in the toolbox. And I was talking with Amy and Juliet yesterday after we had recorded the episode. And I'm like, I don't have a problem with people using GLP-1s. I have a problem with certain people using them. There are people out there who are using them that they're not. These people are becoming living skeletons. And that's terrifying because you know they're utilizing GLP-1s. It's like, I never thought that the 90s, like, emaciated chic was going to come back. It was called something else. I'm not going to say what it was called. But, you know, in that 90s, like, Fiona Apple, that really thin, emaciated look has come back. And it's so weird because we kind of came off of healthy at any size. I guess that the emaciated view is still healthy at any size, I suppose. But if you look like you're under 5% body fat, that's terrifying. Now, a person utilizing GLP-1s to help get them to where they need to be, I have no problem with that. They're working with their doctor. They're making these decisions for themselves. They're hopefully looking at the literature, hopefully making the wisest choice they can for themselves. The same thing when it comes to weight loss surgery. Again, weight loss surgery is a tool in the toolbox. Now, as I said to Juliet and to Amy yesterday, that's like, you know, if your doctor is going to hand you a GLP-1 or offer weight loss surgery before they do anything else, it's kind of like, you know, like, yeah, that's like the jaws of life or a tool in the toolbox for fire and rescue. But they don't use that to cut through your seatbelt. If your seatbelt, the only thing keeping you in the car is your seatbelt, they don't go get the jaws of life. They do that to cut open the car where they can't do it. So I see like GLP-1s and I see weight loss surgery kind of in the same realm of, I've tried a bunch of other stuff and it hasn't worked. What else can I try? What's left? And I understand the risks. I understand everything that's going to go into this. That's where I see these medications and these invasive, highly invasive surgeries. That's how I see them. I don't think they're the first option. I don't think, well, I'm 600 pounds. Let's go ahead and do it. No, we have to figure out the root cause. What's going on? How did we get here? Is there an opportunity to get this under control without pharmaceuticals, without surgical intervention? Can we get there? And I think that's a valid, fair question. I think we should be asking these valid and fair questions. But when someone like Brian has decided, you know, they've done everything that they feel they can do and nothing's working for them and they're finding that GLP-1s work for them, I stand behind them. I wish it was different. I wish they didn't need a pharmaceutical intervention. I wish that everything else that they had tried worked before, because that's what we want. We want them to find success. But I'm glad that they found success. I love it that we're sharing everybody's channels. I love it. Carl says, The guys at work don't want low-carb keto. They don't want low-carb keto, but they consume junk food disguised as health shakes and bars. So I introduced them to keto products, sneaking in through the back door. Oh, sneaky, sneaky. K-Day is asking, coffee recipe, please. My coffee is hot water, boiling water, Nescafe instant espresso, butter, and heavy cream. That is the recipe that I use. This is a 30-ounce cup, so I use probably way more coffee than I should. I think there's 5 or 6 teaspoons in here, maybe 7. I don't know. I don't always count so good. Today is quite a bit of butter. I knew I had a long day today. And heavy cream, I use whatever was the last end of the container, because I didn't want to put like a tablespoon back in there. So I just use whatever the last was in there. That's what I do for my coffee. That's the coffee. That's where I'm at. I love butter and heavy cream, and I love espresso. It's amazing. I don't have the espresso tagged in this live. I can go ahead and do that. I think I can go ahead and tag it in here if you guys want me to. You can buy it through the link. You can buy it, and it helps support this channel. So I will go ahead and add that product in right now, ladies and gentlemen. I like the intense, but there's also a blonde that's very good. I'll add the blonde in here, and I'll add the intense. They're both delicious. They're both yummy. So I'll add those both in here. And there we go. They're now in there for everybody. There's some tagged products now. I don't know if you'll see them right away, but they're there. That's what we can do. But welcome, K-Day. I don't know if you've been here before or not, but welcome. If you've been here, welcome back. Carl says, Twisted Sister took 20 years to become an overnight success. I love it. And Helen says, the reason I crossed over to calorie deficit is if I want to have chocolate or something, I can just add it into the, just not beat myself up over it. That's how I look at any diet that I do. I look at anything that I do. If I choose to add something in that is not keto or carnivore or whatever, I can't beat myself up over it because I chose to do it. But I understand, Helen. I understand. And yeah, thanks. Sean is amazing for sharing everybody's channels in here. I appreciate that so much, very much, much, Sean. And John, Together Strong is here. Together Strong, sharing experience, strength, hope, and one day at a time. I love it, Mr. John. How are you doing, my friend? How are you? John's got an amazing channel. He puts a lot of work and effort into the songs and the videos that he produces. Go take a look at those. Watch them. Enjoy them if you like them. There's Mr. Biscuit. Good morning, Mr. Biscuit. Made it. Sup, Dustin fam. Hello. I love it. Evelyn says, Maria Emmerich, Carnivore, Maria Emmerich's Carnivore cookbook has carnivore broken down into levels 1 through 4. It depends on which meats and animal products you eat and if you add in seasonings. So here's where I come to the seasoning thing. If we get to the point where you figured your diet out to the point where you are now looking at your seasonings, not to say that you shouldn't be mindful of the seasonings that you use, because if you're making dishes and you're using seasonings, that one packet is 20 servings, and each serving is 1 to 5 carbohydrates. So you're adding like 100 grams of carbohydrates to your dish by just the seasoning packet. We should be mindful of that. But a little bit of pepper, a little bit of garlic, things like that. Not the biggest of deals unless you can't handle it. But again, your mileage may vary. N equals 1, ladies and gentlemen. I know that it's better for us to eat good, well-raised beef and free-range chicken and all these things, but we can't afford that. We've been eating a lot of chicken thighs, $1.77 a pound. $1.77 a pound. If we could, Costco's been having some ridiculous good deals on pork loins and such. If we could eat pork and it didn't upset our stomachs, we would eat the crap out of that too. But we try to eat as much beef as we can, as much as we can afford, and we supplement the rest with eggs and chicken. That's what we do. We have to make do with what we can afford because our light bill keeps going up. Like last month and the month before, this month and the month before, we used less electricity this month than we did last month, and our bill was still more expensive this month. But they're like, you don't understand the usage. No, we use less, and you charged us more. Like our light bill is like $600. Like, what? $600. I've been seeing on Facebook that people are scrambling, selling things, trying to figure out how to pay their light bill. $600. Forever, it was like $200, $250, $200. Even when the kids all lived here full time, always, it was like that. Now it's $600. That's ridiculous. But anyway, not necessarily channel related, but it adds to my cortisol levels, okay? It adds to my stress. It adds to my sleep. It adds to all the things that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And Helen says, yes, I love making content and documenting my struggles. If I end up monetizing, great. If not, that's cool. I think there are still ways to monetize your channel, even if you aren't monetized. There are ways to work with affiliate marketing. There's all kinds of things to, and you know all that, Helen. You know that stuff. You know exactly what to do and how to monetize your channel in a meaningful way, right? And again, I see that's one thing too that does kind of bother me in this space. I see a lot of people who refuse to monetize their channels because they think it cheapens their channels. And I do not. Because if you think that you are putting in the effort, especially, you know, people who make and put out multiple videos a day and they're working very hard and they're not seeing the money they like, if you're working full-time on YouTube and you're not making full-time money to make up for it, then you're kind of leaving money on the table. And as somebody who watches content, if you think that you're watching their content, they're trying to make a living doing it, cheapens what they're doing, but they're still giving you the information you need, I think that's pretty crappy. I think if you watch content and you go, well, they're trying to sell me something, so I can't like them anymore. But what's the overall message? Are they saying, hey, like, and I will never tell you you need something from me. If I offer a discount code, if I offer or talk about a product, I'm never going to say, you can't be successful without this product. It's all found. If you are looking for something like this, try this one. If you need something like this, here's this one. That's what I would always say. Whether it's Keto Chow or Salty or Pork and Good Pork Rinds or whatever companies that I have elected to work with over time, or tagging the coffee that I use in my lives. I use that coffee. If you are curious about what I drink, that's what I drink. I'm not telling you you have to drink it. I'm not telling you you have to buy it. But I'm saying, hey, this is what I use. This is what I like. And if you're interested, check it out. But I'm trying to make a little bit of extra money to supplement what I am or am not getting from YouTube. And I think that should be fair. I think as people who enjoy this content should understand, like, that's like the whole, like when we would watch network TV growing up, there were commercials, 2 minutes and 2 seconds. We back in 2 and 2, 2 minutes, 2 seconds of commercials, because they had to pay the bills. They had to pay the actors. They had to pay the boom people, the camera operators, the editors, the people who wrote the song, the people who played the song, all the things. As a creator, I do everything you see here. I edit, I record, I come up with the scripts, I do everything I do. I come up with anything that I'm going to talk about. I utilize stuff on YouTube that's free resources. I do whatever I can. I do pay behind the scenes. This is not new. But it kind of goes along with what we're talking about. How do I become a success doing something like YouTube if I can't try to monetize it? Now, if you watch my content and you've ever thought, well, he's trying to sell me something, he's no good, I can't help that. I'm just doing what I can. Now, I don't always have control over any ads that play before, during, or after my content because I have ads turned on. I don't support or necessarily recognize those ads. I don't even know what they are. I know they don't tell me what they're going to play. And if you guys don't tell me what they play, I have no idea. There are ads that play during this live because without them, I make no money for this live unless there's super chats and such. And I don't like asking for super chats all the time because that makes me feel cheap. I want to make the money off of YouTube. I want to make money off of things that you get something out of it. I want to make sure you're getting value out of all of this. Just like I want to make sure somebody is getting helped. I want to make sure that people are becoming healthier. They're getting better. They're being listened to. They're being seen. They understand that we're here to help them. That's what I want. That's why I'm here week after week. Surely not the money, but I'm here week after week because I give a shit. Because if I wasn't here week after week, I spent $3,500 on taking the PhD course with Dr. Barry. Hopefully, so I can help people. That's a lot of money to spend, and I still have more money to spend to create a business so I can help people. But I did it because I want to help people. I don't see me becoming rich or making $100,000 a year doing that. But I did it because I wanted to have something next to my name that people would take me seriously. I have the knowledge. I have the drive. Now I have a certificate and I can put letters after my name. But anyway, let's see what else is going on here. And Risa says, YouTube is weird. 1,000%. YouTube is very weird. People search things and you come up. The most popular videos are so old. I just got a comment on a video that is over 5 years old. My flower weevil video is crazy popular from 2018. Yeah, 100%. People are looking for content, and that's what we would call evergreen content. Content that gets views consistently. I have some shorts like that get views consistently over time. I have a TikTok Cool Whip pudding trend video that I made that's got 180,000, almost 200,000 views. I've had to go in and change the description on that video multiple times and change the pinned comments and stuff. I went in and like how many carbohydrates are in that and how it's really not great. But somebody sees that and they decide to utilize that to get themselves started in the right direction. Awesome. Would I recommend that today? Absolutely not. But it is one of those things that can get people started in the right direction. Risa says, I have not seen Hellman's clean avocado mayo. If it existed, I would know. I have been with that Japanese mayo display, and it is a new product. New products are usually sold together at ShopRite on an end cap. Yeah, I don't know where, let's see. Ugh. Give me all these things to click. Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully it wasn't fake, because that would really bum me out. Let's see. It may not even be in the US. I don't even know where I saw it from. Somebody was talking about it and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. But I can't find it now, so that's pretty crappy. Let me try searching a different way. Oh, let's see. So I guess maybe I was fooled. Maybe it wasn't real. That sucks. I'm not finding it. Maybe it wasn't real. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Maybe it was fake. Maybe it was fake. Maybe it was fake. Well, that burst my feelings. K-Day said, I had some organic brisket from Erewhon, a natural market. That's a Erewhon or whatever is like in LA where everything's like ridiculously expensive. It's like $20 for grapes. Had nothing bad in it, but I think an oil was used somewhere and I'm swollen everywhere and couldn't sleep last night. That's crazy. And she's and K-Day saying, please explain what those oils do to us. Well, those oils are going to cause inflammation, and which can cause like the swelling or the joints and can cause some sleeping issues. It's pretty crazy. Some people are more sensitive than others. I think kind of like once you start getting away from them, I think you kind of get a little more sensitive as time goes on. Yeah. B is here. Good morning, B. Thank you for joining us. Amy is on our way off to church. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you again later, my dear. See you tonight. Tonight. Let's see. Jen E is here. Good morning, Jen E. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I truly appreciate you. Risa says, Homeless New Avocado Mayo has other oils in it too. It isn't strict avocado oil. Now they can call it avocado oil mayo is nuts. I think it just has to have more olive oil than it is seed oils, but they're never going to use completely. It's not cost effective for them. But I swear I saw some the other day, and it's going to bug me. I'll have to look when this live is done. I'll have to look a little deeper into it. It's going to bug me real bad. There we go. Coach Juliet's in the house. Good morning. I've been listening. Took me a while to find my glasses to read chat post. Oh, my goodness. Without my glasses, I'm toast. I'm toast without it. Jeff says, no seed oil mayonnaise, Primal Kitchen, Chosen Foods, Sir Kensington 365 by Whole Foods. Okay, good to know. Rick, you are not a living skeleton. You may be thin, but you are not emaciated. You eat plenty of fat. You eat plenty of protein. You are not what I would consider someone who's emaciated, someone who is a skeleton. Look at like Ariana Grande. That's what I might be talking about a little bit. Aaron, Miss Goats is in the house. Good morning, Miss Goats. Your daughter's birthday. Happy birthday. I think she's not the oldest, but she's got to be in her mid-teens. At least you can tell by the Slipknot shirt, which I was thinking about that today. I was like, your daughter is in her teens wearing a Slipknot t-shirt. I saw Slipknot like 26 years ago. They played here in Indianapolis, or might be considered Noblesville. They played at Deer Creek, the amphitheater. But they played Central Indiana the day their first album came out, and I saw them play. Amazing, fantastic, amazing, brutal live show, just full of energy. Crowd was insane, and they have been doing it ever since. And it's pretty impressive that a band like that has made it 26 years, because that's a toll on their body. I saw them in Milwaukee, jumping off the sound system into the crowd and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Amazing. Saw them with Dope and Mudvayne in Milwaukee at the Eagles Ballroom, for those of you who may be in and around the Milwaukee area. Let's see. Risa says the commercial for GLP-1 with Serena Williams makes me nuts. It says she has lost 40 pounds, but she's a tennis player. She is in shape as it is. Makes me crazy. She is fit, full of muscle, not fat. And it's all about money. That's one thing that drives me crazy, is the money aspect of it. It's like, did she need to lose those 40 pounds? No. Was she probably done playing tennis and doesn't need to look like that anymore and wants to look like what she expects herself to look like, and she can get that accomplished with GLP-1s, yes. Is there a dark side of GLP-1s? Absolutely. There's a dark side to anything. There's a dark side to carnivore. There's a dark side to keto. There's a dark side to all of it. But, I don't like seeing the celebrity endorsements of people who don't need it. A GLP-1 is for those people, in my opinion, that have no other recourse. Serena Williams can get a trainer. She knows how to work out, and she knows how to cut weight, if you will. And I would almost wager that she didn't even use GLP-1s to lose her weight. I bet she was paid to say that she did, but she probably didn't. Now, I'm saying allegedly. I'm not trying to accuse her of anything, but I would say that's the way marketing goes. We can see that by watching the CEO of McDonald's eating that burger the other day. That man sat and ate a burger like he had never had food before. He didn't know what to do with his hands. He's like, this is a giant burger. What do I do? Oh, he's like, that's a huge bite. No, it's not. We just watched you. No, we watched you eat like a lizard person. He's like, oh, these aren't fresh bugs. Does not compute. No. If you haven't seen it, go watch the CEO of McDonald's eating the Arch Deluxe or whatever it's called, the new Arch Burger or whatever. The man ate a burger like he's never had food before. It's almost like when Mark Zuckerberg was in front of the Senate or the Congress or whatever, and he was drinking water and he was having like these little sips. He was like, he was taking a single drop of water every time he took a sip. And it was like literally like 45 minutes to take a drink of water. It was sad. It's like these people don't know how to be human. But anyway, Sean says, if you are here in the chat, we consider you part of the keto family. We try to support all of you. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Yes, thank you so very much for that, Sean. I truly appreciate that. Let's see. Mr. Biscuit says, definition of carnivore in biology is consistent. Social media interprets differently based on diet trends because we like to have gatekeepers in social spaces. My thing is are you eating a proper human diet? Are you eating mostly meat? Keeping your carbs low? Cool. Let's go. Are you finding success? Yes. Awesome. No. What can be done to tweak it? I don't know. People just get too into it. Rick says, I have never wanted to lose weight. I need to eat more heart attack burgers. Those look delicious, and I need to do that one day. Do like 2 pounds of burgers, whole bunch of cheese, but I like onions and mustard and all that stuff in mine. Does that count? Does that qualify? If I had a pound of bacon, 2 pounds of burger, a whole bunch of onions, some pickles and some mustard, and like my carnivore whatever waffles, would that count as a heart attack burger, Rick? I don't know. Risa says the advertisement would be more effective if they used a real metabolically messed up model than a fit tennis player. Well, it wouldn't really come across to the average person because recognition is so important. Person they don't know doesn't resonate. Sharon says, what I have a problem with this is the establishment. I don't feel the majority is promoting the shot appropriately. Same with agonist, antagonist. For opiates, they're all set up to failure to be continued. And I'll find where the rest of this is in here somewhere. Oh, without plan to taper off and be successful. Yeah, I agree. But it doesn't mean I don't support someone in a community for taking what they think they need to take. Helen says, I was offered Monjourno from my doctor, but I refused as the injection concerns me with how it works on the digestive system. So not for me. Yeah, there's a lot of worry there. There's people that that has been seen in hospitals where their digestive system just shuts down and they no longer kind of hang out with us anymore. They kind of go off onto a other plane, if you will. So that's just one of those things that I'm like, are they helpful? Can they be beneficial? Absolutely. Should they be marketed the way they are now? Absolutely not. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm only a health coach, and I have a lane. And I know that there's people in our community who are huge proponents of GLP-1s, but even still, I don't think they think they're for everyone. I would hope not. I would hope that they have parameters for who they are beneficial for and who do not need them. And hopefully just weight loss isn't a parameter enough. I don't know. I haven't really sat down with them in a long time to really know for sure. And Brian says, everyone has a different definition of what looks good. That's 100% true. But there are parameters of what healthy is. So what I might find attractive and what you might find attractive can be subjective, but a woman getting down below like 10% body fat isn't healthy. Just like somebody getting to where they have over 100% body fat isn't healthy. It may be attractive. I might be attracted to, a woman who is, larger, BBW, if you will, but that doesn't make them healthy. What we find attractive and what is healthy are two vastly different things. And I'm never going to say, well, healthy at any size. That's, because again, what's beautiful is subjective. Beautiful at any size, yes. Healthy at any size, I can't really jump on board with, because we have to understand what health is. And it is very individualistic, but I would say somebody who's less than 10% body fat and they look emaciated isn't healthy, regardless of who might find that attractive, even if they find it attractive. That's what concerns me the most. And I always want to make sure that we're very clear here. I'm never judging somebody by how they look or even how they choose to look, even if it worries me. If they have chosen to look emaciated and they understand the risks, they're grown, they're adults. But what worries me is the people who see that and have that set as a beauty standard that they want to set for themselves. Because if that's a beauty standard being set, that's a very unattainable, very unhealthy beauty standard to be putting out there for a lot of young women, teens, and anybody really, for men as well. I mean, the idea that any of us are going to go out and work out and be like Arnold Schwarzenegger is less than zero statistically, but it does set an unrealistic body standard for men, but it's very difficult for a man to look like that. You've got to spend 15 hours a day in a gym every day being very diligent to look like that. That doesn't happen by accident. I kind of think that emaciated look can happen by accident over time if you're not careful, because especially if you are in a position where no one can tell you no and no one's going to tell you the truth, and you say, do I look good? They're like, oh yes, you look fantastic. All the while you look like if someone farts, you're going to blow away. That's how I see it. And I never want people to think that I'm judging anybody, because this is not what I do. This is not what we're here for. But I think we have to have these conversations about things like, if somebody chooses to look emaciated and they are in the public eye, how does that look and how does that impact impressionable people who think that that's the new body standard and they think that that's what they need to look like too? Anyway, I digress. Yeah, and I think that's the thing, you have to be mindful of, because one of the things you're going to take, you're going to take a GLP-1 It's going to decrease your appetite. So therefore, you're automatically going to eat less protein, and it's going to cause you to lose weight, which is a lot of muscle mass. You're not supplementing that with eating enough protein. So therefore, you're going to continue to lose body mass. So yes, you're going to lose weight on the scale, and also you're going to become weaker in theory. So yeah, again, I'm not anti-GLP-1. I just don't think they should be marketed to everyone and marketed by celebrities who probably have no real need for them. And Rick says, better to be muscular with fat than skinny. Yeah, 100%. And Juliet says that she gets GLP-1 clients at the gym because other coaches, trainers don't want to end up titrating down with med approval. I almost immediately we work on changing nutrition and life habits. Yeah, 100%. I'm hanging in there, John. John's asking how I'm doing. I'm hanging in there. I'm trying to do my best here. Trying to do my best. Josephine says you might have someone staying with them because their roads are flooded. Safety first. Yeah, 100%. If you have the room, help them out. Even if you don't, there's always a floor. There's a couch, chairs. Do what you can. But I love that. I love helping people. I don't see there's anything wrong with selling things. I mean, as long as people understand that the things that I offer, the companies that I work with, I don't feel are necessary for success, but they are impactful to others and may help others find success where they may not have. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to make a living. You know, I'm trying to do this and make a living and make an impact. And I just think there's a big growing concern of people who think that if you're trying to help people on YouTube, then you shouldn't be making money. And I think that is a load of pucky. Oh, let's see. Jeff says, John, together strong. Good to see you. Made it to 100 subs. That's fantastic. 100 subs is such a meaningful milestone. And I know it may not feel like it, but I remember when I finally hit 100 subs, because back when I started my channel, for me to name my channel, I had to hit 100 subs. That's the way YouTube used to work. To name my channel Keto Simple, to be like, you know, youtube.com/Keto Simple, I had to hit 100 subs. Now it's automatic. But, you know, that's the way it is. And Evelyn says, this space has encouraged me to comment on other videos now that I understand their channels depend on the likes and comments. Yeah, it really, really does. And Rick says, my channel banned me from monetization. I would reach out and find out why. I would send them some emails. I know you're not on, are you on Twitter? I would say get a Twitter account and create your channel, a channel on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, because YouTube is more interacting with Twitter. Like you can actually get YouTube people to pay attention to you on Twitter and look into your channel and see why you're not getting monetization, more so than sending them an email. So I would definitely look into that, Rick. I wouldn't let that go. And Brian says, I was trying to break the record of most videos on YouTube under 25 subs. I bet you there are channels out there with thousands and thousands of videos that have like 5 subs. It's crazy out there. When you start looking at like what YouTube is and how many people never hit 1,000 views on a video, how many channels that will never have 1,000 views on a video, it's crazy. And then you start understanding like why shorts are so important. There are 75 million shorts views every single day on YouTube. 75 billion. There's 7 billion people. That means every person on the planet, respectively, is watching 10 shorts a day. That's crazy. Every single person. We know that's not the case. Some people are watching 100, some people are watching none. But you understand how many people on the planet? How many are viewed? That's crazy. 75 billion. million short views a day. That's why you got to make shorts. I know people don't like it, but try to make shorts that are compelling. They don't have to just be silly. They don't have to just be whatever. I try to make shorts that are at least somewhat informative. Will they take off? Maybe, probably not, but they might. As we've seen, I had one hit 1 million views. Still trips me out beyond belief. Like, I wish I could explain how it feels to look at my analytics and see views for 28 days, 1.1 million views, because I know I'm probably never going to see that again. It's just not likely. But I did it once, which means it's possible to do again. But I know that it is unlikely. And Rick is right. YouTube for him is a meeting place. I mean, he gets views. He gets people coming in and hanging out and chat with him. He goes live for like 6 hours a day, or on like 5 to 6 hours on Saturday mornings. You know, Sonny is here. Good morning, Sonny. So glad to see you. Glad you could join us today. North Dakota Carnivore. Lance is here. Good morning, Lance. How are you doing today? And Mr. Biscuit says, I never sent my channel out to a single person or even mentioned it. Somehow I have 100 subs. Well, that's the way that it works. People will still find your channel. And Helen says, a video can blow up anytime. Crazy, really, how as new people are finding us constantly. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, of all the videos that I've put out, I never thought it would be that one that went crazy. You never know. When you're making a video, I make videos, I'm like, ooh, this one's going to go crazy, and it doesn't. Or I put a video out and it goes nuts. I'm like, wow, really? Have a good one. Have a good night, Josephine. Sleep tight. Brian is off to Sam's and then to pick up another Facebook fitness equipment find. All right. Good luck. Be safe, my friend. Truly appreciate you. Cindy says, my YouTube estimated revenue for the last 28 days, $12.31. Literally less than half a cent a day. You know what? I mean, yeah. Is that before or after your memberships? Because mine is like that sometimes. Mine right now, my estimated revenue for the last 28 days is $315.99. But for March, I'm sitting at $105.89 for March. And I know it's only the 8th of March, but still. Which is not normal. Normally, I'm at like $12 right now, $20 right now. Every time I look at it, the views, it's just insanity to me. The last 1.1 million views. I'm just waiting I'm going to post about hitting 2 million views. And then I probably won't say anything until I hit 10 million views or whatever, which who knows will be in 10 years. Helen says she bought a vest. A weighted walking vest weighs 8 kilos. So about 16 and a half pounds. I'm aching today now using it. Think about, like, I remember when I had lost like 150 pounds, and like if you were to go to put 150 pounds back on your body, you'd be like, oh my gosh, how did I move around? And Biscuit says, Oscar Mayer makes natural hot dogs, dextrose, only non-clean ingredient, 1 gram of carb per day, not too bad. I still eat the regular Walmart, the regular Oscar Mayer hot dogs. The classic wieners. The classic wieners are like $5 for, I get them 20 counts for $5. That's what I eat. I don't care. That's what I do. I can get, let's see, for 121.17, how many do I get? Oh, that's not enough, dogs. How many is that? 5 to 1 pound. I don't know how many pounds that is. It doesn't tell me. £10. So 50. So 5 per pound. So 50 hot dogs for 100. That's not a good deal. That's not a good deal. Yeah, Brian Dish says Hellman's makes an avocado mayo, but it wasn't clean. I just happened to see one the other day. Somebody shared that said it was like perfectly clean. And I'm like, that's amazing if it's true, but I guess it's not true. Unfortunately, I guess it's not true. But here we are. Yeah, 100% Rick's right. Oil is for machines, not for me. That's right. Sir Kensington uses sunflower oil. Well, at least sunflowers are like oily. Like oily. At least like sunflowers and like peanuts are oily. At least they are kind of like an oil. Like you think of like soybeans and stuff, like they're not oily, they're dry. Like at least sunflower seeds and that kind of stuff has oils in them, I guess. You know what I mean? Sean has seen Slipknot 4 times. I'm trying to think. I've seen them 3 times. I got free tickets to see them one time, but I wanted to, because like it was Gojira and Behemoth opened up, and then it was Slipknot, and my buddy and I left before Slipknot played. And it was kind of silly, but we did. And Aaron said, Dustin, my second oldest would have great music conversation. She just turned 18. I had her at 23. That's that's amazing. I love having music conversations with people because I've had a lot of cool interactions with music and bands and stuff over the years, and great conversations with musicians and met cool people. And I love it. I just love all that stuff. Yeah, Biscuit. That's exactly what I was saying. Watching that McDonald's CEO eat a burger was like watching Zuckerberg drink water. Yeah, it was like they'd never done it before. Yeah, I mean, I was like, Aaron doesn't look like she's 23, let alone at an 18-year-old at 23. That's crazy. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, and she looks terrifying now. And I don't mean that in a bad, I mean, anything against her, but yeah, Helen's talking about Kelly Osbourne. She's grieving, and she's always had eating disorders too. She just looks, and she's married to one of the Slipknot guys. She's married to one of the people in Slipknot. They just had a baby. Yeah, I feel bad for her. I know she's going through a lot. Hopefully she can find her way out of it. Lance just received a burger press that Amy used in her lives. I need to look at that. I don't even know if I need a burger press or not, you know. Coach Angela's in the house. Good morning. Coach Angela says, I need to make Rick's burger, but it would take me 2 days to eat it. Oh. Biscuit said it would take them 3 days to eat it. Aaron says they can eat it in 37 minutes. I'd probably eat it, but I'd be like, that's a lot of food. Because I'd want to add some eggs to it. You know what I mean? And Brian says, I really wish people would actually learn about these peptides and not just look at the headlines, read about Serena Williams and what her real story is. I get that. But again, most of us are never going to do that. And I know we could probably look into that. And I honestly, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what her story is, but we have to think about the perception. And again, it goes back to what's the perception? What's the perception that we have from GOP ones? What's the perception that we have from Carnivore? What's the perception that we have from keto? What's the perception that we have? I don't have time to delve into every article that I see, but I would like to know. I would like to know better. Jeff says Lance will be live at 11 a.m. Eastern. Okay, I've got some time. I've only been live for an hour and 45 minutes now. Reese says, Evelyn, I just took my first sip of coffee too. I had 2 glasses of electrolytes first. Now drink the first thing in the morning, half hour before my coffee. I love that. And Brian says, almost every GLP-1 channel I follow talks increasingly about feeding enough protein. It's the number one thing. And I hope that that's the case. I hope that if there are channels dedicated to these things, that they are promoting health. They are promoting what needs to happen. Again, I'm not up on GLP-1s. I don't know enough about them. All I have is a headline level understanding of them. I understand that, and I would imagine, and my understanding is that there is a lot of people who are utilizing them that probably actually don't need them. Are there people out there using them truly need them? Yes, absolutely. Again, like I said, they are a tool in the toolbox. But are they something right now that have been kind of thrown out and they're just making lots and lots of money on them? Absolutely. Now, if you dig in and you start looking and you want to find people who are using them for the right reasons, you're going to find it. But I would say, what is the percentage of people utilizing them for the right reasons versus the percentage of people that are being sold them for the wrong reasons? That, I think, is also something that needs to be truly talked about. We can argue and we can fight and we can and be divided based on what, who in celebrity is using them or whatever. But I want, but I would bet a large sum of money that the most people that are on them probably are not getting the benefits they say that they're truly being sold, I guess. And I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm here to learn. Biscuits finding the good prices. $12.31 by me is a 3-pound sleeve of ground beef, which will feed me for a week. 3 pounds of ground beef, that's maybe 3 days for me. And Cindy says, that $12.31 does not count memberships or super chats. With all that, I am just over $60. Well, there you go. There you go. Let's see. How is cotton? I was saying cotton seed, rape seed, all these things. I don't think they're oily. I don't know. Holly Springer's in the house. Good morning, Holly. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Oh, let's see. Sandy Blythe is in the house. Good morning, Sandy. Good to see you. And Aaron says, I bet that CEO eating the burger knows how disgusting it actually is. I imagine it's a pretty tasty burger, right? I imagine it's probably nothing true. I mean, I'm sure that people in here would disagree with me, but I imagine it's probably not a bad burger. I'm not a fan of the sauce they put on it, but I mean, a burger with white cheese, some onions on it, that's not going to be bad. The bun is the bun, whatever, but I don't like the sauce, but I imagine it's not a bad burger. But I mean, he's like, this isn't filet. He's like, did they put any Grey Poupon on this? You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, CEOs don't eat their own products. That's true. The fact that he called it a product, it's like, here, I'm going to have this product. I'm going to eat it for my lunch too. Like, no, you're not, liar. No, you're not. No, you barely took a bite and then you were done and you were out of there. You're like, I can't. He probably went and spit it out. He had like a little pouch. He's like, I'm going to spit this out in a little bit. Gross. Cindy says, Michelle Ross Hall is one you should be following if you aren't, Brian. I'm guessing she's a GLP-1 channel. And like I said, I may very well be off base. But that's how I kind of see it right now. And like I said, if you want to reach out to me and kind of give me an understanding of what you're and how you're seeing it, but I would say with how much money they're making off of these drugs, I would imagine there's a large number of people who are on these drugs who shouldn't be. Now, that's not to say that there's not a good amount of people who are getting them and using them the correct way, but it's the same thing with statins. So we see statins, people are on statins who don't need to be because statins don't do anything. And I would imagine if these medications are being charged $1,000 a week, they're finding a way to be in the pocket of as many people as they can. They're offering it to everybody. And I mean, if I were going to the doctor, they'd probably be offering it to me too. So I would say we have to be realistic in how we look at things. And I say that GLP-1s are helpful. They are a tool in the toolbox. But I would say that the likelihood that they are going out to more people than they should is probably highly likely. That doesn't mean that they're not helping people too, but I would say to dismiss the fact that they are probably going out to a lot of people they don't need to go to is also highly suspect. So that's what I would say. I'm not going to say, I think they're highly useful to the people who need them, the people who get them and are using them the correct way. But how many people are not doing that? I don't know. I want to be informed. I don't want to make broad, sweeping things out of school. I just don't know enough. These are my opinions, and my opinions can change. And Biscuit says, honestly, don't know anyone outside the community. I don't know anybody personally outside the community using GLP. Maybe I do. I take that back. Maybe I do. I don't know. I say that, but then again, I probably do. I probably know a lot more people on GLP-1s than I think I do. I don't know. But I think with that, we've been doing this for about 2 hours now. Let's go ahead and start saying thank you to people for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Because I do. And maybe I will dig into some GLP-1s and I will talk about that next week. Maybe if Brian wants to send me some information, I will look and see what we can. Because again, I don't want to be somebody who just spouts ignorant information. But I would say that as somebody, I have a major distrust of the medical apparatus, if you will. I do. I have a major distrust of the pharmaceutical industry. I just do. And when I see that something like GLP-1s are so popular and they're so lucrative, that there's probably got to be lots and lots of people on them who shouldn't be. And again, like I said, that doesn't discount the people who are on them who should be and are getting exactly what they're meant for and getting exactly what they need from them. But what's the percentage? Is there a percentage greater or less than? I don't know. But anyway, if you are someone who's thinking about starting keto, carnivore, proper human diet approach, understand that the fear you feel at the beginning is normal. And I wouldn't even worry about GLP-1s in the very beginning. I mean, maybe you do, maybe your doctors talk to you, whatever. But I would always recommend, even though I'm not a doctor or a healthcare professional, if it was me, I would always start with food first, try to look at the root cause first. But if you're not changing your meals, if you're not changing your meals, you're challenging years of belief about food and health, and that takes courage. But the most important thing you can do is give your body enough time to respond before you decide whether it's working or not. Don't let the scale be the only voice in the room. Pay attention to how you feel, how your hunger changes, how your energy stabilizes, how your sleep improves. Health isn't a single number. It's a collection of signals that your body is healing. stay curious, stay patient, and most importantly, stay consistent long enough to learn what your body is capable of doing. And I think with that, I love each and every one of you. And hopefully, we'll see you next week. And again, Brian, reach out to me. Let me know what's going on. You can email me, whatever it is. Again, I'm always up to learning and knowing more things. I love you all. And with that, here are the credits that I still haven't updated yet. But I love you guys. I'll see you real soon.